CATEX TV. My name is Frank Fortunato. Today is Monday, January 18th, 2016. If you want to follow us on Twitter, please go to CATEX TV. In the United States, today is a national holiday celebrating the birthday of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Dr. King was born 87 years ago. The stock markets are closed, the U.S. mail service is closed. Everything will return to normal tomorrow. Jarlene Lloyd Thompson, JLT, the big London broker, is saying that combined hull and liability rates for aviation fell by 25% at the December renewals. Hull and liability combined premiums fell by 20% over the year. JLT noted that overall premium had fallen from $2 billion in 2010 to $1.3 billion in 2015. However, the majority of renewals showed exposure growth. Low-cost carriers displaying the biggest increases. There was a plus 5% increase in fleet value exposure growth, as well as a 7% increase for passenger numbers. Meanwhile, the reinsurance premiums keep going down, even though the subject exposure keeps going up. The results mean that the airline insurance market is running at a loss, with claims outstripping premiums in both 2014 and 2015. According to JLT, once operational costs and expenses are factored in, the situation for underwriters becomes even worse. December is a month that sees about 50% of the total airline reinsurance renewals placed. There's a new government in Taiwan over the weekend, and as could be predicted perhaps because of China's belligerency with the creation of artificial islands as well as an increasing militaristic tone, the first female president of Taiwan was elected, coming from her pro-independence party. Her name is Ing-wen. The Chinese government in Beijing reacted immediately, saying that Taiwan should abandon its, quote, hallucinations about pushing for independence, as any moves toward it would be, quote, poison. Voters are concerned that the Taiwanese economy is under threat from China and broadly opposes Beijing's demand for political reunification. They chose the Independence Party over the Nationalist Party. Meanwhile, in China itself, Zhao Zhang, the embattled head of China's securities system, he's the top securities regulator, has apparently offered to resign. Sources are saying this because of his perceived mismanagement, which has wiped out more than $5 trillion of value at the Shanghai and Shenzhen stock market since they peaked in the middle of last year. The 57-year-old chairman of the China Securities Regulatory Commission, the CSRC, tendered his resignation last week after his brainchild, a circuit breaker mechanism to limit stock market losses, was blamed for exacerbating a sharp sell-off. The circuit breaker was junked on January 7th. According to a source, the Communist Party is extremely unhappy with Zhao Gang. It is certain he will change jobs. If they weren't unhappy with him before, they are now. On Saturday, Mr. Zhao gave a speech at an annual meeting in which he said that the stock market rout highlighted the problems facing the country's regulatory mechanisms. Quote, "The abnormal stock market volatility has revealed an immature market, inexperienced investors, an imperfect trading system, and inappropriate supervision mechanisms." That will not be well received in Beijing. In Budapest today, more than 100 taxis have blocked traffic in the downtown part of the city, demanding a ban on Uber. Yellow taxis from a number of taxi companies block most lanes of a key intersection near St. Stephen's Basilica in Budapest. The mayor has expressed his support. Petitions have been brought to him from tax-paying Hungarian drivers. However, he said that we have no means to officially ban Uber or switch it off. Insurance giant ACE has completed its $29.5 billion takeover of Chubb to create the world's largest publicly traded property and casualty insurance company. ACE is going to drop its name and logo. They're going to replace it with the Chubb brand for the new firm. Former chief executive officer of ACE, Evan Greenberg, who is now the chairman and CEO of Chubb, said ACE and Chubb are now one, and we could not be more excited about moving forward together. We reported on this methane leak in northern Los Angeles County, fearing a massive explosion. Officials dealing with the huge methane gas leak have decided not to light the excess gas on fire. The Porter Ranch gas leak has forced Governor Brown to declare a state of emergency. Fire officials and federal regulators, as well as state regulators, have refused to sign off on the plan to capture and burn excess methane gas, fearing a massive explosion. Thousands of area residents have already been evacuated. Luckily, they have